More pressure than Arteta has ever been under, to a certain degree. Let's be real. More pressure than anything. It's a must-win game where there is no other result. There is literally no other result other than winning the game. Be honest ourselves, there is no other way to talk about this. There's no other way to look at this. Arsenal must win. There are no steps back. There are no excuses. And if we don't win, even a draw, it's gonna be a loss. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. So let's see how this goes. Let's talk about it today because definitely there is so much riding on this game that it's actually quite scary. Let's just put it that way. It's actually quite scary for Arsenal's season, for Arsenal in general, and everything that comes and surrounds Arsenal in that regard, if we are looking at this from that lens. So we're going to talk about all that. Declan Rice has done an interview, has talked about all this. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. We had a meeting after the game. Everyone was super pissed and everything. And we definitely want to do better and all this stuff, right? Talk is cheap because we have heard this talk from players, from the manager, from quite a few people, and still we have the same outcome. It may be changes for a game, maybe two, and then again we go back to the same old, same old. We revert back to some old crap. Let's just put it that way. We revert back to some old stuff we basically despise to a certain degree. So we'll see how that's gonna go. So we're gonna talk about all that. Smash the like, people. Subscribe if you're new. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and we can go from there, people. Big up, Arsenal fan. Big up, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Animal Shorts. Some top goober are claiming Newcastle to do something. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Newcastle haven't won at Etihad in about, 20 years? Something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Last time I read today. And obviously Newcastle will be in a very dangerous spot after that exhilarating, let's just put it that way, exhilarating 6-1 win against Karabag. They were flying. It might play, again, mentally, it could play a cruel trick on them. And we all know that Pep, he knows how to rotate. He knows how to motivate team. He's been there. He has done that in all ways, shapes, and forms. And let's be real. When it comes to crunch time for the last 12, 13 games, where we are pretty much right now, Pep does it. We just know it. We have been there before, even as Arsenal fans. We have suffered that from both ends of the spectrum as the leaders and as the chasers. Liverpool have suffered that. Quite a few teams. So it is definitely a very tall order to expect that Newcastle are going to do anything. I'm not expecting Newcastle to do anything because at this stage, we are in this spot where no matter how you look at it, how you want to look at it, Arsenal are the team that need to get the job done. And Arsenal cannot look at what other teams do. Arsenal must look at Arsenal themselves need to focus on themselves to achieve things, and then we can just go from there. Spurs will get something if Bob Topgunner will claim we are great, and Arteta saying balling isn't in my vocabulary. It's okay. That's the thing. He says this, he says that, but at the end of the day, do you take it for granted? No, we don't. Do we take it as on the full face value? No, we don't. The evidence over the last quite a few years, is there, has been there, and will be there. And until myself and others are going to get proven wrong, we're not going to believe it. We're going to not take it as full. Not to mention that Man City, they know how to do it. Other teams looking at how Arsenal are playing are going to smell blood. They will want to ruin Arsenal's season, especially a team like Spurs. It will be interesting to see Arsenal play against Igor Tudor, knowing that he usually plays 3 at the back, aka 5 at the back, and Arsenal usually tend to struggle against this stuff. And it's going to be a North London derby where you could argue there is more on the line for this North London derby than there has ever been before, like to a certain degree. And we all know that as soon as the expectations, the pressure, the accountability, the importance of the game and everything rises, Arsenal tend to crumble down. We all know that. We have been there, we have seen it. And this is the biggest worry that we might experience it once again. Now, if we win, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be over the moon because first things first, we have beaten Spurs. We haven't dropped points and all this stuff. At the same time, I'm not going to get carried away because this one win is not going to mean anything in this grand scheme of things, especially if we drop points against Bournemouth, against Brighton, against teams like that. So time only will tell, time only will show, but definitely it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a rough one, and I fully expect for Arsenal to be very questionable. People say it's gonna be a stink fest, and it's very hard to argue against that. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very, very hard to argue against that because I expect Eze to start. Because Eze already against Spurs did good. He scored a hat-trick. He carried the team over the line and all that stuff. So there is no reason why not to start him once again, right? But since Odegaard is back, Havertz is back, and we all know that those two are Mikel Arteta's two of the 5 most favorite words in the world, bigger chances than not as they are again is gonna hold the bench and Odegaard is gonna start, and then it's gonna go down from there. And that for me is a big, 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 big worry. Let's just put it that way. If Emery finishes higher, Top Gunners owe him an apology, but they drew versus Leeds. Yeah, Aston Villa didn't look great against Leeds. Absolutely did not look great, and that's the same Aston Villa who beat us, by the way. Let's not forget that. Obviously, Emery, it's very hard even to look at this because to a certain degree, because if you look at the first 5-6 games in the Premier League this season, Emery with Aston Villa didn't win. They were drawing, they were losing, they couldn't score a goal to save their lives. And since Top Gunners love these what-if scenarios and all this stuff, can you imagine what could have been if out of those, let's just say, first 5 games, Villa would have lost 3 but won 3? That's 9 points. Villa would be up there with Man City, if not closer to us. That would be just absolutely insane. Insane to even think about to a certain degree. Big up, Ryan. Big up, Ryan. Big up, Ohaha. Hope you're doing well. United are playing on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, who are Man United playing on Monday? Let me check quickly, because United play on Monday against Everton away. That's going to be a rough one. That's definitely going to be a rough one. Too many streams and football on right now. Just paying. Big up to you. Big up to you even for dropping by for a second. Big up to everyone who's watching even for a second, because City are playing Newcastle. I have YouTube open for myself and for people I follow. About 9 live streams are going on, so I fully don't expect people to stick around for the full stream, or not even for 5 minutes to a degree. I'm not gonna lie. So big up to everyone who's dropping a buy, who's dropping a like, and everything, all that good stuff. I read some bits about Declan Rice saying that they had a team meeting, that everything is gonna change, that the perfect game to respond is against the Spurs and all this stuff. But we had the same discussions. He said the same thing with. After we lost or drew, I think we drew to Nottingham Forest. And what followed? We had a 1 good game, and then again we are here where we are. In the last 7 games, we have 2 wins. In the last 8 games, we have 3 wins. Is that acceptable for a team that is going for a title, that is leading the league? For the main favorites, arguably, to win the league? No chance in hell. Which champion loses to a team that is pretty much already relegated? Which champion does that? No one. You look at other teams, they are beating Wolves. Arsenal cannot do that. You look at other teams, they win against Brentford. Arsenal somehow cannot do that. Make that make sense. Because for me, for this season, the expectation when I went into this season was for Arsenal to win the league, was to get the same amount of points from the wins we got last year, and get from those 14 draws, turn about 8-9 of them into wins, which cumulatively gets to 16 to 18 points, which added to the totally added up would end up around 90 something points, and we 86 or 88, something like that, and we would have won the league. We should be winning the league. The issue is Arsenal this season have actually written some draws into wins from last year, right? The issue is some of the wins we got last year, Arsenal have converted into draws or losses this season, which is at the end of the day some give and take, which at the end of the day balances each other out, and we are in a quite similar spot than we were before. And that is the one big worry. And 7 years almost into the job, after $1 billion spent, making the same mistakes, having the same issues, the same problems, the same, let's just say the same shortcomings, definitely is not great. Let's just put it that way. You should do a stream with Gianni. Yeah, I definitely should. Gianni has been on the stream. Definitely. Gianni has been on the stream before. And I definitely should talk to him. I have him in WhatsApp. I should message him, talk to him. Maybe at some time we can schedule something up. We can definitely talk about Serie A as well, because I watch Serie A. I have no issues with that. So we definitely can discuss that as well. So we can have that multi-league stream. Let's just say it like that. Everton will they give themselves a red again to take the piss? Not sure about that. Definitely not sure about that. But they win the European League. He's a specialist in it. Yeah. Yep. They could. Definitely he could. He definitely could win the league. Emery knows. He has won. I think he's the only manager who has won the Europa League 4 times in a row with Sevilla and Villarreal, if I'm not mistaken. So he definitely knows how to do it. It's his league. And even with the same Villarreal squad, when he eliminated Arsenal in the semifinals, remember that debacle we had and that pain, right? Next season, he takes the same Villarreal team and gets to the semifinals of Champions League, where he just came short, a tiny bit short, to Liverpool and didn't get to the finals. So it's definitely a rough one. Big up, Liam. Big up, Liam. Hopefully you're doing well. Big up, Liam. Big up. I'm good. It's been a while, definitely. I'm good. I'm trying to get back into things. New job, health issues, all that stuff accumulates up. You need. So I made some videos on occasion. I'm going to try to do more streaming in general. Maybe mostly during Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, during the week. More chance than not, there will be videos, right? If Arsenal get to Champions League final, you bet yours. I know it's very far-fetched. It's literally 3 months away. Let's just say it as it is. If there's a Champions League final, that's going to be a stream watch-along, without shadow of a doubt. Without shadow of a doubt. I hope Newcastle get a draw. Well, we can hope for that, but so far it's 0-0. Obviously, it's 0-0, 10 minutes in, almost. Stats so far, nothing special. I haven't got the game on. I usually, when I stream and there are some games like this happening, I have a game on the other screen, but at the moment I don't. I still get pissed off the Wolves game, That's understatement and a half. It's actually embarrassing, to say the least. The pain and everything. The nuts part is that, if you've seen Arsenal win the league, and if you felt Arsenal finishing second or losing a final in the Wenger days and the early 2000s, late 90s, and all this stuff, you knew how painful that was, right? And it's the same level of pain at the moment with Arsenal and Arteta, just different kind of pain. And that definitely, for me, doesn't sit well with me. Let's just put it that way. Arteta out. Yep, 100%. Doesn't win the league, Champions League. Peace out. Yeah, he is on live stream one. Yeah, no, Gianni is on live now, right now. If I'm not mistaken, he is definitely. I don't know. Ask Mikel, but he's not going to give you an answer, so go figure. Eze scores a hat-trick, gets man of the match performance. Instantly, bang. Odegaard comes back, Eze holds bench, doesn't play at all. Eze also feels like he's a bit free-flowing into the system at times, but he's not used to it. That's a different story. At the same time, it's very interesting that you get high-end quality attackers, finishers from other teams, Eze, Gyökeres, the drill. And Arteta manages to turn them into, B-Tech version of Maroun Chamakh. Like that is a unique quality that not every manager possesses. Let's just put it that way. And looking how Arteta is killing our attack, I'm very worried that for any player we're gonna get, as long as Mikel Arteta is here. But if we don't win it and Arteta goes, we'll see. We'll see. This club is gonna be here whether Arteta is here or he's not here. This club stands above everything. So people's attachment to Mikel Arteta also seems very weird to me. City will win to Newcastle, Arsenal will draw to Spurs, and then the gap closes. The gap already is small, to be honest, because City have a game in hand. Because we played the Wolves game, right? City's Palace game is to be determined still, if I'm not mistaken. And I expect City to win that, first things first, because I think it's also at Etihad. And if they win it, it's 2-point gap. 2-point gap already. Because I don't count this as a 5-point gap. You have to assume the worst case scenario, 2-point gap. And we still have to go to Etihad. And for me personally, as soon as the gap or these two teams are or on level points, or City go ahead, it's done. For me personally. Is Igor Tudor a good manager? No, he's not. He is not. If I'm not mistaken, Igor Tudor, yeah, he has had 11 or 12 coaching jobs in the last 10 years. He's not that good. He definitely is not that good. He has good spells, maybe sometimes in the early stage in the first 5-6 games, as English media, British media try to portray, new manager bounce, all that crap. After that, it's straight downward spiral. We saw that at Juventus, at Marseille, and other teams. It's not great. I watched Real Oviedo and Santi, love him. Yeah, personally, in his prime, he's better than Sesko or Silva. What does he not have the ability-wise? But La Liga is so much better than... Yeah, La Liga is 10 times better. Teams don't park the bus. The teams go at each other, hence why you see the goals and everything. At the moment as well in La Liga, Espanyol are playing against Atletico Madrid in Madrid, right? And Espanyol are winning 1-0. Santi Cazorla today, by the way, got an assist in 93rd minute to Eric Bailly, if I'm not mistaken. And they drew the 3-3 to Real Sociedad, by the way. Santi Cazorla still has it. In 38 years old, he's still balling out. I would love to collab with Lee Gunner. Thing is, he knows who I am, but I'm not, like, he's a big dog in this. He is a big dog, and let's be, like, come on, man. It's not like I'm going to try and to even bother asking. Like, what you people say, what's the worst that could happen, but I'm not going to go and ask because he himself is a very busy man with all the streams, 2 channels, watch-alongs, real life, collabs, and everything. He's a very busy man, and, like, come on. What player do you want to step up tomorrow? Everyone. Like, there isn't a player in this team in the last quite a while who has been brilliant and consistent. Everyone has been good for half a game, best case scenario, whole game. Best case scenario, and even then it's a stretch. Everyone needs to step up because this is a team sport, and one person is not a warrior. You need 11 warriors on the pitch at the end of the day. And unfortunately, it feels like we have not 11 potential champions on the pitch, but we have 11 chumps on the pitch. Top Gunners were saying the refs were at the blame for the Brentford game. Yeah. And the rain and the weather and the wind. The wind was too windy. The rain was too rainy. The pitch was too pitchy. The grass was too grassy. And all this stuff. Like, come on, man. We shouldn't rely on other teams. Exactly. Why you should rely on other people? Because also, in your life, the most dependable person you can rely on is yourself. A job, in real life, in every way, shape, and form. If you do your job and your duties to the best of your abilities and you get everything done, nobody can touch you. Nobody is going to crucify you because then it's on other people to do their part. Unfortunately, in football, it works the same way. Because if you Arsenal do their job, which should at the moment be about being 12 to 15 points clear, nobody would complain that we have drawn against Wolves. Because everyone would say, well, it was unlucky, but we are still 10, 11 points clear. We reassess and we go again. Nobody would say that. But we are only 5, well, for me, 2 points clear of City. It's been a reoccurring theme. And all of a sudden, all the world-class mathematicians, aka top gooners, come out and say, well, if he drops points and they drop points and he drops points and the injuries and red cards and all this stuff, we actually could do it. When it starts coming to that, you know that something has gone terribly wrong in this case scenario. I can track back, but yeah, that one time when you can hear through a microphone on the sidelines, Arteta was screaming at him. Man City are 1-0 up, by the way, people. O'Reilly has scored from Marmoush's assist. Man City are 1-0 up. And that is that. That's all she wrote. Let's just put it that way. That is all she wrote. Let's just say it as it is. Could be fake sources, but I saved it on my Insta. Bye Odegaard's working for United. That's very far-fetched. That was very unreliable, as it was stated by them on media everywhere. But there are lots of talks that Odegaard actually might leave during the off-season. There are lots of talks. It might be just yellow page stories and all this crap. We all know how things work with transfer rumors, and half of them are not even true, if not more. At the same time, to a certain degree, where there's smoke, there is fire. So there could be something to it as well. Odegaard as captain is watching a guy that can only press on. That is it. And he doesn't even do that to maximum extent. Odegaard doesn't even press that well, if you even think about it. He ducks out of challenges. He doesn't make full commitment when he presses as well sometimes. So it's not it nowhere near. Santi versus Cesc versus Silva. I think Santi is... Cazorla is underrated. Definitely. The issue is, what could have been if he doesn't get injured as much and his ankle doesn't give out and everything? Just similar like with Diaby, what could have been, right? But Cesc has bigger legacy. He has been much more consistent. Same goes for David Silva, for the trophies, for the achievements in his life. So just imagine, Santi Cazorla was great, right? But at the same time, if he didn't get those injuries, he could have been level 2, even maybe 3 levels above what we know him for. But these days, if you look at footballers, there pretty much are not a single. There is not a single player, almost at all, who can so willingly switch legs on corners, set pieces, passing, and everything like Santi Cazorla could. Like I still remember, he was about to take corner with his right foot. He gets signal from Koscielny or Giroud or someone in the box, says, go with your left, and Santi just says, well, okay, and he just walks and readjusts his position. Yeah, 1-0 Man City. O'Reilly has scored. Yep. Well, congrats, City. Well, pretty much to a degree, I'm not going to lie. As I said, Newcastle, if I'm not mistaken, have not won at the Etihad in about 20 years, something like that. And it doesn't look like it's going to change. It doesn't look like it's going to change. Big up Yardman. Arteta out. Yep. Bring me Luis Enrique. 100%. Bring me Luis Enrique. Luis Enrique gets 1.5. No, how many times? He's on 9. Arteta's on 15.6. He gets literally like almost double. 2 times less. 1.5 times less than Mikel Arteta. And for what? Literally for what? Your Kroenke one. Which Kroenke one? Wait. What? Odegaard's acting like a baby, our captain. He's acting like a baby himself. Yeah, captain of tile race team and acting like a sore loser. Yeah, exactly. Like he makes Gallas look like a good captain. Make that make sense. Big up AJ. Big up AJ, the hardest working mod in the community. Big up to you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Like the stream, people, and subscribe if you haven't already as well. I can sense an Arsenal ball versus Spurs, bro. Like, that's the thing. Going into this game, I'm not very confident. Even though it's Igor Tudor, who I don't rate, even though it is Spurs, who are like little brothers to us and everything, still I am worried. Based on these performances and the fact that Arsenal mostly drop points in away games this season, I am very worried because most of the points when we have dropped this season are away games. At home, we have lost to United, maybe 1 draw or 2 draws, and that's it. Most of the losses or draws we get are in away games, and that is definitely not a great thing. And usually against teams we usually beat, City will overtake us. The disaster. Well, now look at this. City win this game. They're only 2 points behind us. 2 points. And that will give extra pressure on Arsenal, extra pressure on Arteta, and that is gonna go south real quick. Oh, damn. Sorry, AJ. You have the flu and the cold. I had that during the week. 38-degree fever and everything. Literally chugged about 10 pounds of medicine. Next day, fresh as a daisy. Don't know how that worked. I'm just happy it did. I'm not gonna lie. Being sick is one of the worst things you can imagine. Bring me Rene Slegas till the end of the season, then Luis Enrique. Put Airpod Albert in charge. Airpod Albert actually has more experience than Mikel Arteta has had. Newcastle are about to score, apparently, by the way. Yeah, Airpod Albert has had more experience. Ability-wise, is he better than Cesc? Never seen someone with close ball control, press resistance, and passing even longer. He's in Xavi in his prime, or man. Like, that's the thing. In short-term spans, there are arguments to be made. But unfortunately, football is not a sport where you can judge a person in short terms. You need to look collectively as the legacy of his footballing heritage, what he has left in football. And looking at things he has won and everything. And if you compare that to Cesc, David Silva, what David Silva did at Valencia, what he did at Man City, what Cesc did at Arsenal, even at Barcelona, a young captain for Arsenal and everything, what he did at Chelsea, and everything. He blows them out of the war, unfortunately. Ability-wise, you could make some arguments, but overall, yeah. AJ is saying 3-1 Spurs tomorrow. Newcastle have scored, people. Newcastle have scored. Lewis Hall has scored 1-1. Now, this is getting interesting now. This is definitely getting interesting. Remember when I said in summer about Cesc and Cherki? Yeah, I wanted Cherki at Arsenal. I wanted Dani Olmo at Arsenal. Years back. It was years back. I wanted Disco at Arsenal over Odegaard. I wanted Iñaki Williams at Arsenal at a certain stage, and people called me dumb, deluded, stupid, and all this stuff. And we got Odegaard instead. Who did we get? We got Marquinhos. We got some other random wingers I genuinely have never heard of to some degree ever before, and all this stuff. There were players for the taking, good ones, better ones than Odegaard. Even Eze is better one. But unfortunately, with us, Arteta is not using it. Let's just put it that way. Rumors this Josh Kroenke will sack Arteta if he fails. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. There are rumors flying around that Arsenal hierarchy have set an ultimatum for Arteta to win the Premier League. There are heavy rumors, to be honest, flying around. And Josh himself said that Arsenal have to win things. Exactly. Because think about this. Every single sports franchise that KSC, Kroenke Entertainment and Sports and all that crap owns has won stuff, right? Arsenal women's team last year won the Champions League, by the way. Beat Barcelona, the best team in world football. Our women's team this year won the Women's Football Club World Cup. Don't forget that as well. Our women's team is only 40 years old, and they have more and bigger achievements to a degree than our big team, our men's team, who are 140 years old this year. It's supposed to snow 20 inches here tomorrow and on Monday. Well, good luck with that. Hope you have your shovels ready and everything because, well, it's going to be a long one. Every player has regressed under Arteta. Saka walks like an old man. White hardly plays, and he was 50 million signing. Norgard hardly plays. Yeah. Why Norgard is so... Let's just say, I don't even know how to describe it. Why Norgard is so... why Arteta has turned a blind eye on Norgard, specifically in Premier League, not using him instead of Zubimendi and everything, I have no idea. Ben White is back. Yes, he had an injury. He might not be fully up to match fitness, but he's ready to play. Why doesn't he play a lot? Go figure. The issue with this is, after the game against, we just drew Wolves, a sports journalist asked Mikel Arteta, Timber and Zubimendi, they looked very fatigued during the game, right? And obviously implying that why doesn't he play Norgard, why doesn't he play White and all this stuff. And Mikel Arteta came out and clapped back and said, well, they look good to me. They do what they're doing. They do what I'm asking them. They're looking good. But it's very evident that they don't. Ben White for the last month or so has not been on it. Sorry, Simba, for the last month or so. Zubimendi goes missing quite instantly as soon as you get physical and high press on him. He would make El Neni proud in making sideways passing. Genuinely, he would make El Neni proud with sideways passing. And for me, Zubimendi definitely is not the answer. I said it when we signed him and when we were linked with him, that he's not going to be Thomas Partey replacement. He doesn't stack up to the levels of Thomas Partey, whether you like it or not. He's a tiny bit improvement on Jorginho, but besides that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's costing us big time. Absolutely big time. And going back to Norgard, right? Norgard, this season in Premier League, and I'm not making this up, genuinely not making this up, people. You will see this in a second. I will share this screen, and you might actually be in a shock if you don't know this. Christian Norgard, right, has played 32 minutes in Premier League this season. 32 minutes. We have played 27 games, 26 or 27 games of Premier League season already. And he has played 32 minutes. That's almost an average minute per game. That's how much he is utilized in Premier League. Despite Zubimendi not being on it, dropping stinkers, not being great, it's actually a mystery and a half why Mikel Arteta so reluctantly refuses using Christian Norgard in Premier League. Odegaard is captain, he cannot... Yeah, Odegaard, yeah. Renes Leg has 2 major trophies in 16 months in the job, exactly. And the first one was on interim basis as well. I pop champagne the day he leaves. Oh, that stream will be glorious. That stream will be glorious. And by the way, people are saying 2-1 Man City. O'Reilly scores again from Haaland now. O'Reilly scores again. O'Reilly with 2 goals. Norgard is decent. He can do the dirty job. How many times Declan Rice has covered Zubimendi's ass? Also, it's too many to count. Maybe that's why also Declan Rice cannot focus so much on forward stuff he maybe is asked to, because, well, he has to cover for Zubimendi. Norgard can actually physically hold his own. He has actually somewhat decent passing, quite underrated passing. People said he's a sensible signing, but what is sensible in using him? He's not used at all. So if he didn't get no injuries, he would be. Also never had a bigger personality since he refused to go into Real Madrid before Arsenal, apparently. Yeah, I think Santi Cazorla, if he doesn't get injured, he definitely would be levels above himself. He would be much higher regarded in Arsenal than people actually regard to him right now. And people already very highly and very positively speak on Santi Cazorla. Imagine if he doesn't get injured, doesn't get those injuries, and he could stay relatively injury-free, how high of a praise he would be getting from us. Maybe he would get even a bigger move than Arsenal afterwards. Zubimendi is 50-50 one day, his next day, he's utter dog shit. Yeah, Zubimendi is great when we are at home, everything is ticking fine, and we are bopping the ball around. When we play against a bit lesser teams. As soon as we play against a team that actually has a bone in them, that get physical, rough, high press, no time to think, Zubimendi disappears. He becomes El Neni. Let's just put it that way. Bigger. Mikel Arteta told us again that he wants to see his team to show to fight in anger versus Spurs. Well, he can say all he wants. It's a North London derby. This stuff should not be said. This stuff should be coming by default. First things first, because it's a derby. Right? The fact is, why do you need such high motivation being said and so openly expressed to the media in interviews, in anything, when you are going for the title, when you are top of the table? Do the players not believe in it? Do the players think we still get a ball? Do they have no accountability or nothing? That for me is the biggest question, because you have been up there for the last 4 years. You have been going for the title. Players should be ready for this to a degree. They should be prepared for this. But it's very evident that they're not. Very not. And Bukayo Saka signs his 300 grand a week contract right now. What he says in the interview, I really think that in the next few years, Arsenal are going to get it. I don't give a damn about next few years right now. I care about this year, this season, this time when we are on top of the table, top of Champions League, final of Carabao Cup, fifth round of FA Cup. I care about that. He mentioned none of it. He was talking about the future, next season, Patrice Evra settings. Watching Arsenal is like Netflix, always next season. Why do you even put that out there? Why don't you talk about this season more specifically? Was making into Spain national and played in Euros with the midfield, so that it speaks volumes, exactly, and that speaks volumes of how bad Mikel Arteta was. He didn't get nowhere near that, and he also said in a Twitter account from an Arsenal account that Mikel Arteta said that he wants to see some players show leadership, but the only player that shows leadership is Rice. So Rice and Gabriel, they're only two that's showing some leadership. Only two. It feels like, yes, they are still speaking positively about Mikel because it's their job. Nobody openly speaks negatively about their manager. Not in sports, not in real life. But ultimately, the expressions, the player communication, the disagreements and everything, when you look at the players, you can tell that they are tired of certain stuff at the club. They are tired of the manager as well. It's very evident that they don't believe it as much as maybe some people want them to believe. Let's just put it that way. And it's very showing because everything slowly but steadily comes out. James Ellis leaving too. Yeah, James Ellis is leaving. Yeah, not everyone can handle Andrea Berta, man. Not everyone can handle the Italians and their mafia. It would be very interesting what's next. Would be very interesting what's next. Who is next to go? Because it looks like Arsenal are cleaning the house. They changed the headroom stuff and everything. Ellis is gone. Edu is gone. Garlic is gone. Who else is there? Arteta might be next. Literally, Arteta might be next week. I've signed one of the top Italian scouts for players about from Napoli, that Materuzzi, Michelini, whatever his guy's name was. I totally forgot now on top of my head. Need Gianni to help me with that because we took him from Napoli. But yeah, it feels like there are some big changes coming. And this team at the moment, looking at Gyökeres, looking at Eze, these signings are 180 degrees straight opposite of what Mikel Arteta envisions how he wants to play football. So that leads me to believe that Andrea Berta has signed these two players for the life after Mikel Arteta. Very simple as that. So at the end of the day, it looks like the changes are coming and they gonna be very rapid, especially if things go south right now, very quickly. Very, 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 very quickly. Rice's latest comments proved he ain't the captain. Yeah. For me, Gabriel should be the captain. I know I'm a bit old school in that regard, but I prefer my captain to be a defender, personally. Worst case, or a defensive midfielder. Because for me, you need a captain, who is vocal, who is very, who leads by example. Gabriel is one of them. Let's be real. Plus, I want a captain who can see the whole pitch, how things are developing, who can call stuff out, maybe direct traffic a tiny bit. Because Odegaard, when he presses in front, he sees nothing. He genuinely sees just defenders. He doesn't see what's happening behind him. And for me personally, if I look at some of the best captains in the history of football and everything, those are number sixes or center backs, defenders in general, maybe some goalkeepers. Because if you look at it, it's Keane, it's Vieira, it's Maldini, Baresi, Chiellini, Bonucci, Buffon, Iker Casillas, Victor Valdes, Puyol, Busquets. They all are grade A number sixes or defenders by a mile. Philip Lahm, it just goes without saying. Pires, Roberto Pires for sure. Rice for sure because it feels that way, definitely. I hate when we waste time on that stupid. Yeah, I hate it as well. Yeah, I hate that as well. Somehow Arsenal are playing like they are relegation team. For me, it doesn't compute for me. It's surprising how good you can be when you attack. We saw that today, Brighton versus Brentford, right? It's surprising. It's like rocket science all of a sudden. If you attack, you score goals and you win games. It's like Arteta hasn't figured that stuff out still. Almost 7 years almost in job. How does that even work? Because we go 1-0 up, we start to sit back. We start to waste time. We play 4 corners. We take 6 years and 2 light years to play a corner. Then David Raya comes and bops the ball around, comes out of the box for God knows what reason, without a reason, cannot catch a ball to save his life half the time. And then he stands in goal. Oh, I have to fix my mistake, and sees a goal, and then he's pissed at everyone. Like, make that make sense. The team is full of immature players fighting versus Wolves after the game. Where was the? Yeah, exactly. Where was that during the game? Don't get me wrong. I like that you show emotion after the game as well. But how about you show it during the game? Because Gabriel Jesus did that. He was useless against Wolves. He might as well not come up on the pitch. He did nothing. Oh, you're a bad man. You shove Mosquera and all this stuff after the game. How about you show some fight during the game? All these guys, all these players, it feels like they have no backbone. And ironically enough, it looks like they're not strong enough mentally. And we all know that the players on the pitch are pure reflection of the manager. And who is the manager? Of course, Mikel Arteta. Who knew? Genuinely, who knew? Make that make sense. Yeah, Berta Mafia, they are working hard on this. Hopefully. The next manager won't get his PR as Arteta gets. No, he won't. First things first, he won't. He will get the Emery treatment from all the Arteta fans. That's going to be the next thing. And, for example, I'm going to be in support of that manager. The others most likely won't, which means they're going to be toxic and negative, but I'm still going to be called toxic and negative because I support that someone that majority doesn't want, and everything. It will be reversed roles. And obviously, you cannot win these types of things. When the new manager comes, they will get Emery treatment. Exactly. Great minds think alike. This team needs to show passion during the game, but like Gabriel Jesus action with immature, and Buddy Mikel said in Sky Sport that he liked Gabriel action. That he liked. Exactly. Like, it's a piss take at the end of the day. Same goes for Gabriel Martinelli. He's been shit for, 2 years now? Only place he actually is useful for Arsenal is the Champions League. He actually looks like somewhat good footballer there. In Premier League, he looks like, beats a Timu version of Gervinho, for God's sakes. 93rd minute, we get a corner. He goes towards Wolves fans and shows them, showing them 2-1. 2 minutes later, Arsenal concede the second goal. 2-2. Like, karma is a bitch. We all know that. We're so lucky of any top team got their shit together. Exactly. Same goes for set pieces. Because set pieces are major reason why we are where we are. If we didn't have that, we would be 6th, 5th, best case scenario. We are going for the league, and we have the time play like, let's be real. Relegation team. Roy is a mid-table keeper. He proved that against Wolves coming out when Gabriel had it covered. Yeah. The thing is, our players need to start talking on the pitch as well. No communication. Like, if you can see that Gabriel is preparing to jump and head the ball away, and Raya actually wants to catch it, then scream that you're going to take it. They just bop into each other. He flaps like a scarecrow, drops the ball, then goes back in the net. Oh, I have to save this, and concedes. And it's not the first time. Then randomly he comes out of the net to make a slide tackle. Then everyone's in panic mode. He tries to get lobbed 50 times a year and everything. Like, Raya is not a bad keeper. Definitely not a bad keeper, right? Let's get it straight. Is he a title-winning keeper? In my opinion, no, he's not. Oh, he has 2 Golden Gloves in a row. Bigger chance than not, 90% of the time, that's thanks to defense more than anything. Yes, he has made some great saves. But the stupidity he also has done, it's pretty much on the level with the great saves he has made. So it's nothing great. Let's be real. And there's a reason why Unai Simon, from Athletic Bilbao, mind you, not Real Madrid or Barcelona or Atletico Madrid, plays instead of Raya for Spain national team. Massive reasons why. Big up KKX. Big up. Martinez, Raya, Tierney, Calafiori. 100%. Martinez is better than Raya, and Kieran Tierney is better than Calafiori. See, Calafiori is injured all the time. Nobody is complaining about that. Tierney got injured, by the way, less than Zinchenko, less than Partey, less than Tomiyasu, less than Jesus. Everyone was complaining. At this pace, he actually is less injured, or close, or more or less even injury time-wise as Calafiori. Nobody's complaining about that. Oh, because he has a nice jawline, he models underwear, he has great hair, and he's from Italy. Maybe if he was called Kirniao Tirniori, maybe then nobody would complain. Maybe then. Who knows? Because Tierney has everything Calafiori doesn't have. Proper defensive work, left back and center back. He has great cross, great shot, and everything. Santi versus Juan Mata. Well, that would be interesting. Definitely. Definitely. I heard some rumor that Mikel Arteta is telling to Raya and to punch the ball. Why? Why? If that is true, God knows why. Because if you catch the ball, well, there's lesser chance that anyone's going to get the ball. If you punch the ball, you're obviously going to fall to the ground many times. Then the goal is going to be empty. And if the ball falls to the opposing team, bigger chance than not they're going to score an empty-net goal. Donnarumma comes out and clears his defenders. Raya is too soft. Also helps that Donnarumma is like 6'5" or 6'4", and Raya, well, is 6'1". Raya compared to Donnarumma is a midget. Raya is shorter than I am. I'm 6'3", almost 6'4", literally. Almost 6'4". Raya is shorter than I am. Raya is pretty much timber. Raya is basically a midfielder's height. Yeah, Donnarumma takes a lot of space as well. He's big, broad shoulders and everything. Yeah, Martinelli should be a center forward. He was cooking there with Emery, even for Arsenal. Martinelli only place where he does well, obviously, is, well, Champions League. And if Martinelli, unfortunately, he cannot translate that into Premier League. Will you do a video after the Arsenal game? Yes, I will. The game is what? My time. It's 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. Yeah, I will. I will. The reaction will be there, definitely. Either it's going to be a video or a stream in the evening. One or the other. Harambol. Almost. Arsenal men's goal team looking to sell Calafiori. It's injured too much. Like, our hospital bills must be so insane. It's actually wild. So insane, it's actually wild. How big has to be our hospital bills? In the last year, by the way, we have had more injuries to our players than Man City have charges, by the way. We have like 124 injuries in the last year or so. Man City have less in charges, by the way, and none of them are going to stick it anyways. Let's be real. Yeah, Bertha, please fix this mess. Good start with Tellis, continue with everyone else. I don't know if you saw, but in some goal we can see that Roy is not communicating on this goal. Oh, he's not communicating. They are not communicating almost at all sometimes defensively. They are not almost communicating at all. The biggest thing is for me that our team actually is very good at fighting back the first attack wave from the opposing side. The issue with that is, as soon as somebody gets through that first defensive line, the first attempt, and something sneaks through, our players don't know what to do. They panic instantly, and it causes confusion, and instantly we get done over. With a dangerous chance, Raya has to make a save, or, well, it's a goal, let's be real. Partially, I was watching Aston Villa game more. Arsenal are deciding whether to sell Calafiori, is looking into selling him because he's in. Would love that. Would love that if that is true, because you knew that he had injury problems. You knew his injury history. Why the hell are you even signing him then? And also for 45 million? What the hell was that about? Wait, let's check this. Since we are in the talks of Calafiori, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Calafiori, and all this stuff. Let's see this. Let me zoom in, and I will share you the screen. Now, here it is. Let me share the screen with Calafiori's injuries. Here we go. 9 games, 2 games, 3, 10, 3, 4, 7. Oh, bloody hell. Now, let's look at this. This season, he has missed 43 games with 2 injuries. 43 days with 11 games. Last year, he missed 175 days, 29 games, 6 injuries last year. Every year, he gets injured. He had a surgery here, by the way. He misses 1, 43 days, 118 days, 73 days, 53 days, and 4 days, right? For Arsenal, this current situation, he has missed 218 days. 218 days just being at the club for 2 years. 218 days. That's 29% of the time he's been at the club, he has been out with injuries, days wise. 29% almost. Now look at this 218, right? That's basically the same as he has missed in the last 4 years put together. A bit more, a bit less than the last 4 years put together. Like, that is insane if you ask me in general. That is absolutely insane. Like, that should not be a thing. Exactly, why sign him then? Like, it's insane. I hope Mikel Arteta does not do that speech on Twitter. La Liga is so much more. Yeah, La Liga is so much direct. It's back and forth football. Nobody's parking the bus. The smaller teams actually go for it, even if they are 2-3 nothing down and everything. It's actually very nice watch. Very, very nice watch. He's a center. Yeah, he's a center back, anyways. Exactly. He's just a hybrid. Calafiori is a center back, and for me personally, Calafiori is not even a center back in a 4 at the back. Calafiori is a center back in 3 at the back formation, personally. Just like Hincapié. Hincapié, for me as well, more than anything, is a center back in 3 at the back formation as a left-sided center back. More than anything for me. We don't have an actual left back. We don't. We sold Tierney. Well, we let him go. I still believe and I still maintain this thought process that if Andrea Berta didn't come in last year in March, right, but came in, let's just say in November, the year even before that, Tierney would have stayed at Arsenal. Because Berta came in when Tierney had left already. He mostly played as a center back at Bologna. He played left. If I'm not mistaken, he mostly played center back for Bologna, and the last time he played left back properly was like 4 years ago. Like, that's like nuts. Imagine if Raya gets chipped by Richarlison. Oh, bloody hell. The pigeons are gonna fly wild. The pigeons are gonna fly wild these days in London. Do you think we need a Tsar goalkeeper? Yes. Yes, I do. In Premier League, definitely. If we were in a La Liga, in another league, maybe not. In Premier League, yes. But also a thing is that the height is not everything. Let's be real. I think we need a goalkeeper who doesn't do the stupid shit that Raya does. Like 90% of that stuff is Mikel Arteta settings, right? We all know this. So for me personally, I would say we need to remove that, because if Raya doesn't come out of the goal in these nonsense situations, if he doesn't play on the halfway line sometimes by Mikel Arteta instructions and all this stuff, we would have less problems. Yes, Arteta wants him to play as a rush-out keeper and everything, but yeah, we need a better goalkeeper. Yes, we do. In my opinion, we do. It was very evident that David Raya is going to become number 1 instead of Ramsdale, because Arteta wanted David Raya before he got Ramsdale. Brentford said, no, we're not going to give him to you, so we got Ramsdale. But as soon as David Raya became available, Mikel Arteta was on that train as stink on cheese and instantly got him. And I said that by, I think it was November or December, Raya will become number 1. And somehow Raya became number 1 pretty much instantly. Would you play Saka in cam or wing? I wouldn't play him at all. I would give him a proper rest. Saka feels like still somewhat injured. He still sort of limps a lot. He limps too much and everything. Something doesn't sit well with me with Saka still. I would give him still a rest. At the same time, who knows? Go figure. I'm not gonna lie. Who knows? Go figure. Let's just put it that way. But for me personally, Saka, I would play him as a winger more than anything, but I would play him as a left winger, not a right winger. I definitely would play him as a left winger, not a right winger. I would explore that option because Mikel Arteta has this weird fetish with having left-footed player on the right and a right-footed player on the left, so they can cut in, whip in across, and all this stuff, and all that jazz, basically, right? Which is very predictable if you don't have two-footed players. Obviously, Martinelli has somewhat of a left foot. Saka has somewhat decent right foot and everything, but putting the strong foot player on the outside, on the left, for example, Saka, would give Arsenal and the attack extra dimension, because then the defenders will be more guessing than anything what Saka is going to do next, because he since he's left-footed, more chances than not he's going to cut back on the right. If he was left-footed on the left, the defender would have to guess, will he cross or will he cut back? I think that is also something Arsenal should be doing, swapping wings around a bit more often. Same quality as not many of those, to be honest, and they play for the biggest teams already. The League Cup final, we ain't winning it. We'll see. If we don't win that Carabao Cup, we're not going to win anything this season, in my opinion, because that is going to leave such damaging scars to Arsenal and Arteta more specifically that it's going to be very dark times. Saka has lost a yard of pace. Yeah, 100%. Every time Saka plays 20 minutes on the floor, yep. And 60, and the rest of the game he spends waiting to whip in a corner. Arteta should be investigated to health and safety, safeguarding social services. Injured players to come back, rushes them back or pushes them back on the pitch. Ben White playing on an injury. Yes, Ben White played with 3 months necessity of a surgery. Timber openly said this offseason, before this season, in an interview in Netherlands, that he says the medical staff that he cannot walk properly. He gets some sort of a very sharp pain in the knee. They do the scans and everything. They say he's fine. He can play. They say that to Arteta. Arteta plays him. But Timber himself comes to the medical staff openly admitting that he cannot do it. He has excruciating pain that it's very hard for him to walk or run even. And they just ignore it. They do the scans, all fine, who cares? That all he did was Man United switched Noni and Saka on both sides. Yeah, but he needs to do that more often. Yeah, Partey got pushed on the pitch, back on the pitch. I think Tierney as well, if I'm not mistaken. That's how you know the manager hopes for the best. Yeah, it's basically he just prays, rushes back. It's not a surprise that all of a sudden that Saka plays in the 10. It doesn't work properly out against Wolves. He doesn't want to play Eze. We have North London derby, and all of a sudden, miraculously, Odegaard and Havertz, both of them are back. It's not a coincidence, people. Definitely not a coincidence. Let's just put it that way. Now give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm checking something. Okay. Halftime 2-1. Yeah. Man City are 2-1 up thanks to Lewis Hall. Man City are up thanks to Lewis Hall. We'll see how that is going to work for them. As I said, Newcastle haven't won there in about 20 years, so definitely they have a very steep mountain to climb. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. They definitely have a big mountain to climb. Big mountain to climb. Give me a sec. I'm just checking some stuff, people. Keep the questions and thoughts coming. Gonna be live for about 10 more minutes. Let's just put it that way. 10 more minutes. Okay. We got dropped by Chelsea for Noni. We won the money back for Noni. We want money back for everyone. For Willian as well. Well, a bit different story, but for Willian, for Gallas, for David Luiz, for everyone, to be honest. Now, give me a sec. Yeah, okay. Like, it's actually not. Do you think he's arrogant or doesn't want to win? It's obviously the 2020 season, but we need a soccer replacement and the center. He wants to win. I think he just doesn't. He doesn't know how to exactly go about this because the 22-23 season, as great as it was and it came out of nowhere, I think has been so damaging mentally to Mikel Arteta that it has left such deep scars that he has changed certain things so much to such a degree, it's very hard for him to go back and admit that he maybe got some adjustments wrong. Because you cannot go such quickly from being such open, attacking, free flowing, best football in Europe, actually, to playing park the bus, pretty much control, micromanaging, and everything so quickly, where you sacrifice your attack for defense. Back then, our defense also wasn't the greatest. Because for me personally, if we did the same thing, if we went, let's just say, our defense now is much better. If we play the same style of football, right, with this better defense we have right now, we would be better. We definitely would be better off. I much rather score 4 goals and concede 2 than score 1 and concede 1. Like, come on. I'd take Olise over Saka currently, same. But we had a chance to sign Olise, we didn't. We had a chance to sign Rafinha, and we didn't. We had a chance to sign Kvaratskhelia, and we didn't. We had so many options, and now we have none. Now we are looking again at Nico Williams. God help us all. If we sign Nico Williams, all my peers tell me Odegaard press is so good, and then that Odegaard show leadership in the locker room. Odegaard needs to show way more than that. By the way, fun fact for you all. Odegaard has played 19 games this season in Premier League. 19 games. He has 1 goal, 5 assists, right? That's 6 points. Fabio Vieira at Hamburg on loan from Arsenal or sold, who cares? He has played 16 games for Hamburg in Bundesliga. He has 2 goals, 4 assists. 6 points overall with 3 games less. I much rather have Fabio Vieira right now in the number 10 than Odegaard if he doesn't want to play Eze. Or buy on Diomande from Leipzig. Maybe. I don't want to buy from Leipzig because the premium they ask on top of their players is just ridiculous. So I'm going to say we didn't expect it. Yes, he went super defensive then. Exactly. They didn't expect it then. We didn't. I'm not a top gunner. I didn't expect it as well. But I've been talking about this, and people then, when I talked about it, said I was toxic and negative. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now all of a sudden it's the new trendy topic. He would lose the title with Prime Messi and Ronaldo. Yeah, he would make them look like Chamachs and Gervinhos and Marquinhos on the right wing. Remember that one? Would you keep Fabio Vieira in the squad next season? No, he's not good enough, especially with having Vangieri and Max Dauman in the team playing the same positions. No, I won't. For me, the Max Dauman and Vangieri are better for Arsenal than Fabio Vieira. But if he's out on loan, we can get him back and then get proper money for him. I definitely wouldn't get that. But the fact that Odegaard is saying he wants to leave during a title fight is disgrace to a captain. Exactly, that just shows. That just shows everything you need to know. He's not cut out of it. There's a reason why Carlo Ancelotti or Zidane, who was it who sold him? I think it was Ancelotti. I might be. Yeah, it was Ancelotti. Sold him to Arsenal instead of Isco. And Ancelotti didn't like Isco at the time, but they decided to sell Odegaard. Odegaard's a failed wonderkid, no matter how you look at it. That's not saying that Odegaard is not going to win stuff in his life, but he is not the guy. Yes, but we're Arsenal. Our standards should be it. Yeah? Standards be up there, but thanks to our fan base, they are still the same. he feels undervalued. How Odegaard is loved by Arteta? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Max is so talented, but he will crumble under him. Wenger or Emery would make him. Wenger or Emery would make such a diamond out of Ethan and out of Max Dauman. It's actually insane. I think also that's partial reason why this loan for Ranieri was more Andrea Berta than anything, to get away from Mikel Arteta. Because there were talks about more playing time during the contract and everything. He signed a new deal. He obviously didn't get it. And maybe to save him, he got loaned out to Marseille. Maybe just make him. Maybe. Odegaard is a god that he's nervous as his captain. It's wild. Odegaard is not just as a captain. There is something more to it. Definitely something more to it. It's worrying. Let's just put it that way. It definitely is worrying, to say the least. But hey, go figure. Go figure. But we'll see. We'll see. But there is something to it which just doesn't add up. Let's just put it that way. There is something that just doesn't add up. There is something. Give me a sec. Oh, I see. There is something just doesn't add up with this. I think Arteta does not like Miles Lewis-Skelly. For me, Skelly is a very weird topic because Skelly, by default, before Arteta got his hands on him, pause and all that, right? He was a number 6, number 8 in the youth team. Arteta said he envisions him playing as a left back. Well, then he decided that he's going to play left back, just like Zinchenko and everything, because that worked so well, right? So he went there, he did that, all that stuff happened, of course, and everything. And everything, right? And now Skelly played so much last year because Calafiori was out injured for the longest time. Mind you, Skelly actually did very, very good, people. Skelly actually did very, very, very good. Let's just put it that way. Skelly did very, very good, right? The issue with that is, though, towards the end part of the season, he got tired out, he got figured out, and he got unnecessary yellows, reds, and everything. And, of course, Calafiori came back from injury, which meant that Arteta's favorite son is back, has risen once again, and Skelly had to hold the bench. And I think that absolutely shot Skelly's confidence to bits, to say the least, and it's going to take him some time to recover it. But for me, Skelly is a midfielder, number 8. Yeah, Skelly, this is like Amorim and the Kobe Mano situation, something similar. Not fully, but there are some similarities. Bertie will sack Arteta. I hope so. Gyökeres is probably secretly an Oba character. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. But you need players like that with some attitude, some everything in your team to actually do something. You genuinely need players like that. Unfortunately, Mikel Arteta cannot deal with those. That is another issue, which obviously is a big, big problem for Mikel Arteta. If he could deal with those, there would be no issues. Let's just put it that way. There genuinely would be no issues, right? We all know this. We all know this. We have seen this and we have experienced it, right? The thing about everything is that as long as he stays, big up. Have a nice evening, and hopefully we don't lose tomorrow as well. Okay, in defense, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me when Arteta goes, Gyökeres will break his silence. Wouldn't be surprised that many players break their silence. Let's just put it that way. Like, I would not be surprised if that becomes a thing. Genuinely, that many players break their silence, or all of a sudden they become good. That also could be the case. It's not Skelly's fault. Yeah, maybe Arteta don't play midfield and left back. Exactly, it's not Skelly's fault. Skelly is young, inexperienced. That's not his fault. He got overplayed. That's not his fault because Arteta didn't buy proper backups and proper squad. And right now he got his favorite boy toy back, Calafiori, and Skelly got. It's not Skelly's fault. This is definitely not on Skelly. Definitely not. This is more on Arteta than anything. And unfortunately, until anything changes, well, I don't think much is going to change. Let's just put it that way. Let's just put it that way. If as long as that changes and nothing much changes, it's gonna be like that. So we'll see how that's gonna go. We're definitely gonna see how that's gonna go. But yeah, hopefully Skelly does well. Anyways, on the Spurs game, very quickly, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be tough. Arsenal are gonna struggle. Fully expect that. Spurs are gonna smell blood. Interesting, we'll see what Igor Tudor decides to do against us. But I'm going with 2-2. I'm genuinely going 2-2. These last two results have absolutely hit and struck me so deep in my heart in pain that I just cannot openly predict a win. It's been that poorly, especially since it's an away game. So for me personally, I'm just gonna sit here and say that Arsenal most likely are gonna draw 2-2. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this. What are your predictions let me know what are your predictions for the game, because for me it's gonna be rough. I'm going to delete YouTube, social media, and go hiding if we lose. Oh bloody hell! I think my overall system is gonna go nuts. If we don't win the league, I genuinely might disappear from socials, because the trolling, the banter I'm gonna receive at work, because two of my closest colleagues I work with are Liverpool fans, by the way. I'm gonna receive on WhatsApp. I'm gonna see on Twitter, on YouTube. It's gonna be unbearable if we don't win this league. Like 2 months ago, month ago, we were talking about football at work. I told my colleagues, right? I don't think Arsenal are gonna win the league this season. That's when we were 7 points clear, and I got told that I am confused, weird. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right now, I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you. We are 2 points ahead of City. We have to play an LD. And yeah, it's not looking great. It definitely is not looking great. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see how that's going to go and where this is going to land. But definitely, it is not a great thing. Definitely not a great thing. Hopefully, it's going to go well. Arsenal, I hope Arsenal don't cause me pain tomorrow, genuinely, because at the moment, would not be surprised if it happens. Let's just put it that way. Would not be surprised if it happens. But yeah, for today, I'm going to be signing off. So take care, stay safe, have a great evening, have a great time. Hopefully Arsenal don't pain us tomorrow, and see you soon. Peace.